Ooh, that's what my hair looks like, huh? Kind of an opposite land. Hey, Destination Decluttered, TikTok Live. Now I get hair stuff. I get my hair goop on my hands. Ugh. Good morning, y'all. I've got a beautiful morning going on. I don't know about you. I am so easily influenced by the weather. Always take the weather with you everywhere you go. Always take the weather. Oh, excuse me. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood, neighbors. I feel like I should be changing into my actually, you know what? I am going to take off my sneakers because I'm not walking outside. I'm going to make myself comfortable. You make yourself comfortable too. I'm taking a tip from the Mr. Rogers playbook here. So good morning. Destination Decluttered. 10 a.m. on Tuesday, April 30th. Can you even believe that tomorrow is May 1st? Time, she is a-flying. Time keeps on slipping into the future. All right, so good morning. Hey, Cece Fitzhenry, nice to see you. And Melissa and Donna. Donna, listen to me, that was totally my Boston Donna. Donna and Julie and Andy and Sandra D. Look at me, I'm Sandra D. I bet you've never heard that one before, huh? And Joyce and Katie and Mama Pepper, nice to see you. Kim and Ted and Emma and Natalia and all the people in the neighborhood. Good morning, neighbor. So, good morning. TikTok Live Marathon. Have you been helped with me showing up every single day for a TikTok Live? Has it made things easier, better, worse, indifferent? I was looking at my calendar, and I will share this with you. First of all, if you've been here for a TikTok Live, you know I'm just going to encourage you. If you're not on the Destination Decluttered email mailing list now, I'm just telling you, that's the more I move forward, the more the cool stuff's going to happen there. This morning after my coaching, I have an early coaching session on Tuesdays. I can have early coaching sessions on every day if you want to work with me. I scheduled the May Zoom call, the group Zoom call just for the people on the mailing list. The mailing list people by the end of today are going to know when the TikTok Lives are for almost the next 2 weeks in May. Also, the people on the mailing list are going to get first dibs on coaching consultations. Okay? So I say this to you to just let you know that there are ways in which you can do baby steps of getting decluttered and help yourself. Okay? Okay, Cece Fitzhenry is saying, Tappy Hughes Day. Good one. Cece Fitzhenry is saying, yes, I'm loving the marathon. Okay, good to know. Cat Mama too. You're my regular folks are digging it, so I'm probably going to keep on doing it. The one thing that will change though, and again, this is me giving the good stuff to the people on the mailing list first, just to give you an awareness. Starting tomorrow, the people on the mailing list are going to get first dibs at seeing the TikTok Live recordings of the on YouTube prior to people who are not on the mailing list. Okay, I want to share that with you to encourage you to sign up. DestinationDecluttered.com/join, and I want you to just know that you're going to get even more first dibs. Okay, you're going to get more first dibs. So, starting tomorrow, it's going to be people on the mailing list get to see the recordings of the TikTok Lives from May. And then once May hits, after May is over, then those ones will go public. And then June will be the first dibs, okay? So I just want to offer that to you as kind of an encouragement to get on the mailing list. I don't spam. I just like to share the good things. But you're showing me how interested you are in what I do by getting on the mailing list. So I like to say thank you for that. So I'm always giving the good stuff to the people who appreciate my good stuff first. How's that? Alrighty? So let me help you with this. If we've just met, I see a couple of happy, familiar faces, but in case we've never met before, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. Now, why do I call it Destination Decluttered? Pretty simple. I love to travel, and I noticed at some point recently that I I can get so much more done, and it's so much more fun, and I get stuff done when I think of life as a road trip, not a commute. Now, I show up in the clutter space because I know what it's like to be cluttered, so I want to help you declutter. Now, the people who have been on and know me for a while, they know that one of the things I'm going to encourage you to do, if you've never hung out on one of my TikTok lives, basically this is how it works, is you ask me a question, clutter-wise. Where are you stuck with clutter? What could you use help with? What would you like help with that's going to get you unstuck in your clutter journey, in your clutter destination? Where are you stuck? I can help you, kind of like AAA, I can help you get unstuck. Because this is what I do for my one-on-one clients, the people on the mailing list, and now you for free here on TikTok. I am a Gen Xer. Early, I'm kind of, what do I call myself? Like elder Gen Xer? So I've been around the Gen X space for a while. I was Gen X before it was Gen X. That's how Gen X I am. And so I will show up very casually and also probably spouting off these, what do you call it? Like, pop culture references and probably singing some songs because that's how I show up. Okay, so the cheeky housewife is asking. Now I'll say this. The reason I call out people is she's answering my question. So in case you're doing something else. But also on the recordings of the TikTok lives, the questions that show up do not carry over. So on YouTube. So I like to repeat them. Also, for the people who are using the opportunity of me doing this TikTok live and you're walking around your house kind of decluttering some surface clutter, maybe laundry, dishes, surfaces, stuff like that, you'll know the context of my answer. So Cheeky Housewife is asking how to store mail. Now, here's how I approach pretty much everything. Let's keep it simple. It's the simpler, the more elegant, the easier, the peasier, the better. Okay, so here's how I recommend you do it. I want you to get comfortable with categorizing your mail and asking yourself this question, okay? Asking yourself this question, and this is a clutter question that you're going to ask about everything. What is this thing? Do I need it or not? If I need it, where's a good place for it? If I don't need it, what's the easiest way I can get it out of my life? So mail. Mail, you've got categories, okay? You've got two categories of mail, I think. You've got mail that comes in that you need to do something with, kind of action items. You get a piece of mail. It says, pay me, call me, do something with this. I have this piece of paper, this piece of mail, as a physical, visual reminder to do something. That's a category. Once you have done something with that, you have paid the bill, you have made the phone call, you have, as I like to say, done the thing, then that same piece of paper changes. You don't need to do the thing anymore. Sometimes what you do is you may be in the habit of storing those things, aka filing those things, as evidence that you did it. Now, many of us who are Gen Xers and even older and, whatever, we grew up in a 100% paper-based world. So we may have long-standing habits of what we do with our paper based on kind of an outmoded way of dealing with things. What I like to do as a coach is, with interest and curiosity, look at your current habits that are based on the past and say, does this make sense for who you are now? And even better, who do you want to be? Okay, so to me, Cheeky Housewife, the only thing I would store, and I have my own system. Actually, here's a funny thing. I'll show you. This isn't mine, but this is how I store my mail. This just happens to be. So it's an Expando file. Okay, and I bought this literally probably 20 years ago, but they still have them. And this one was convenient enough that it has like it has like bank records, credit cards, dental, income, insurance, investments, legal loans. After I've done the thing, I will just pop it in here so that an entire year's worth of paper takes up about this much. I do, even as a decluttering coach, I probably keep, quote, too much mail, but I have a system that works for me that takes so little effort. This is what I do, and it works for me. If what you don't do doesn't work for you, let's change it, okay? So Debbie is saying grief and clutter. Yeah, let me help you with that, okay? So the way I coach, I like to think of things in the following layers. The tip of the iceberg, I'm starting to do this iceberg thing, those of you who've watched me a long time. I like to keep things interesting. So think of the tip of the iceberg clutter-wise is your surface clutter. Then The surface clutter is usually there because you've got another layer underneath, which is your stored clutter. The stored clutter is probably why the things are on the surfaces, because if you don't have any place to store it, it stays on the surface. But the last and the deepest layer of decluttering or clutter is sentimental clutter. Sentimental, surface, stored, sentimental. Sentimental is the stuff that makes you feel feelings. And if you are dealing with grief, push the clutter aside. The clutter can wait. Help yourself feel better. Take the time you need to heal from whatever grieving you are in. And the very first thing, I love this. So Idaho Princess is saying, ID Princess is saying, Beth is amazing to work with. Yes, so are you, my dear. And I look forward to seeing you in May. But you know this, it's like everybody. Please, oh please, oh please. I am a decluttering life coach. So I have a certification in life coaching. So I want to share, the reason I did that and not did more of I grew that part of my business because there is a direct correlation in how you feel. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, energetically, electrically in your body. When you don't feel good, you're probably not doing good. When you think not good and you feel not good, you're probably not doing good stuff out there, and it probably shows and it feels, and it becomes this kind of perpetual cycle. The best thing you can do for yourself, declutter-wise and otherwise, is to help get yourself feeling better. So if you're grieving, honor your grief, heal at a pace that feels good to you. If you don't have energy, look at why you don't have energy. Maybe you need to get some more sleep. Maybe you need some more water. Maybe you could, I hate that these things work, but maybe you could eat more healthy foods, and yeah, it makes you feel better. I wish it wasn't the case. I want the Pringles to make me feel awesome. But yeah, so take care of yourself first, okay? And Debbie, it was your son. I am so sorry. Yeah, you're going to be feeling a lot of feels, but take care of yourself. The stuff can wait. It's just stuff. But if seeing that stuff and dealing with it causes you such pain right here, if you try to work through that pain, all you're going to have is that memory of the last time you went through clutter. It was painful, so I'm not going to do it. Allow yourself the time to heal. It's kind of like when you go and you work out too much, and then you don't allow yourself to heal, but you keep on working and working, you're just going to hurt yourself worse. Okay? I love it. Lisa is saying, I bring my shredding to Staples. Yeah, I think you can bring your stuff to Staples. I haven't done it. I think you pay them probably by the per pound. There you go. They weigh it and they place it in lock bin. I love that. I love that idea. I may do that myself. Thank you for that. Who was that who recommended Staples? Because I have a Staples right near me. And I have been touting, let me just write that down. Staples shredding ? If I find out, I'll let you know. See, good ideas come from everywhere. Write it down so you don't forget it. Just set it and forget it. I have had good luck in the past year or so with there being shredding events near me. I actually literally thought there was one in my county because I live in PA. In my county, I swear to God, I thought there was one last weekend. I had it on my calendar. When I went to look up the details, I found out it was the weekend before. Oh well. Now, the wonderful thing is I do have quite a bit of paperwork that I'm shredding. The stuff that I save for a year and then I realize I don't need it, but it makes me feel good to save it for the short term. Also, I'm helping my mother with her clutter, so I have a lot of her paperwork. I have that stuff stored in a total out-of-the-way corner of the basement that when I know it's time for me to go shred it, it's right there. So I don't sweat about the shredding. Okay? But it's a good idea to do that. All right? Cat Mama, on the other hand, has a shredder next to the favorite chair, so you keep it, and maybe it's a zen moment for you to go. I always like when I talk about shredding, I notice how my body gets involved. My body is like, hey, I'm in on this, and I put my hands down as if, not that my hand's going in the shredder, but I think of my fingers as like the paper, and then when you shred it, it gets into the little strips. If you enjoy shredding, oh my gosh, have fun. Make decluttering as fun as you can with the things that make it fun for you. I find shredding to be frustrating, a great waste of my time, and I would rather do other things with my time. But you do you, okay? So here's what I want to offer. First of all, get in touch with yourself. Get in touch with your energetic feeling. If you feel like you can take a few deep breaths. Shift gears so you can get in a better vibe. And then say to yourself, where do I want to go? What is my destination, ... decluttered. You can't go on a road trip unless you know where you're heading. If you don't know where you're heading, it's not a road trip. You're just kind of driving around. You're kind of cruising around, but you're not really getting anywhere. You're just kind of driving in circles. As soon as you have a destination, that can be, again, kind of like the hierarchy of clutter. What do I want my house to look like? That's just the tip of the iceberg. Then, how do I want it to function? Which is, I want to be able to find things easy peasy, all that kind of stuff. The deepest one that gets affected by all those too is, how do I want to feel in my home? So take those 3 questions and get yourself into a space. And even if you've been on this journey for a while, pull over and remind yourself where you're headed. Maybe you've gotten lost along the way and you've kind of forgotten I say the destination, but your destination is a bit like your North Star as well. So where are you headed? What do you want your home to look like? How do you want it to function? And most importantly, last and best, how do you want to feel in your home? Okay? German Maid is saying, I shred daily as I open the mail. See, you got a nice little routine. User 1963 says, I put certain paper products in our fire pit. There we go. Yes, and I like that kind of funeral pyre action. I will share with you that's mostly where the accumulated paper clutter, and it's not clutter, it's all the good stuff. The really good stuff that I save every year from my own life that tells the story of my life in boxes of paper, little small boxes. I'm going to burn those, probably starting when I'm age 80 or 90. But right now, I love having them because I look at my boxes and say, that's evidence of a good life. I love it. CC Fitzhenry unloaded the dishwasher. High five, my friend. There we go, mother of 3 pearls. Good morning. What about decluttering everything else? Okay, Lisa, I'm going to give you the TLDR version of this. Really easy peasy. Here's the question you want to ask yourself pretty much about everything in your home. What is this thing? Do I want it or not? That's the really big question. Once you answer that question, then it's one of those like flow charts. What is this thing? It's a X. Do I want it or not? If the answer is yes, I want it, because you've made a current decision, where does it go? Where is a good home for it? If I don't want it, what's the easiest way I can get this out of my home and out of my life? Lather, rinse, repeat. I feel like I'm in church for some reason. Lather, rinse, repeat. I don't think that's what they say. It's been a while. Okay? Now, if you think of, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to ask myself those questions for every single item in my home. Whoa, overwhelm. No. Let me help you with that. When you feel overwhelmed, it just means you're looking at something too big. So we're going to chunk it down. We're going to calm down. We're going to chunk it down. So this is when categorizing, categories, name of. This is what we used to play when I was growing up. Categories. Categorizing your stuff. So the one thing you say is, do I need all of these items? How many spatulas do I need? How many tape dispensers do I need? How many pairs of yoga pants do I need or want? When you look at things in a category, what that allows you to do is make one decision that affects multiple pieces of things. And it's the same thing. If I want them, there are certain ones that I want to keep. There are certain ones, should I stay or should I go now? If I stay, where's a good place for me to store it? Where I'm going to know where it is, be able to find it, be able to wear it, be able to put it away easily. And if I don't want it, what's the easiest way for me to get these things out of my home? Lather, rinse, repeat. Okay? Kathy Lewis 60 is saying they want to feel peaceful and creative. I love it. Okay. Got overwhelmed? You're always going to need to, as soon as you feel the overwhelm, you sense it, you smell it, you feel it in your body, know that is your body giving you a clue that something is amiss. That if you pay attention and you don't do something, you're going to feel overwhelmed and you're going to stop. What you need to do instead, coaching, calm down, slow down, breathe down, quiet down, sit down. write down, chunk down, all the downs. Seriously, get out of, the very first thing to do is get out of overwhelm. You're not going to make good decisions when you're in a fight or flight activated neurological electric state. Okay? So work with yourself first. Okay? Help yourself with that and then chunk it down. Categorizing chunks it down. You know? Lisa's saying, I plan on moving. What a freaking chore. It's going to be tasks, but how freaking exciting. For you to have an opportunity to design your dream home. The next place you live, you now have the opportunity to decorate it with just the right stuff. The stuff that you have now that you don't want in that new home, this is a perfect opportunity to jettison it. If you feel like it's going to be a freaking chore, I would just offer this to everybody. We've got thoughts in our heads that make us feel a feeling, and when we feel a feeling, we do a thing. If you, on the one hand, you've got the one hand and the other hand. On the one hand, if you think the thought, ugh, what a freaking chore. Does that really make you, how does that make you feel? Ugh, it's going to be a chore. I'm going to dread that. I'm dragging my feet. I am not looking forward. I'm not looking forward to doing that. I'm looking ahead with dread. When that happens, you're going to be more likely to postpone it, to not enjoy the process. However, what if it wasn't a chore? What if you thought of it differently? Oh my gosh, you know what? My dream home is completely a blank canvas now. I get to decorate and fill that home with just the right amount of the stuff that I love. And I don't need to bring anything that I don't like anymore with me to that new home. I'm going to design my dream home. That sounds kind of fun to me. Suddenly I'm like, oh, now I'm interested. Barbie dream home? Totally. Okay, when you think better, you'll feel better. And then you'll probably put it on your calendar to do some decluttering and to do some packing. And it'll feel better when you do it. Okay? Hope that helps. I love it. Mother of three pearls. Emptied 3 boxes yesterday and sorted all of your household hair items. Awesome. Kathy Lewis is saying, my design studio gets messy quickly. My brain gets overwhelmed with chaos in that space. Knowing about that, it's really important to me, like as a creative person myself, it is really important for me to not have my creative space cluttered because it distracts me. And when my brain is distracted, it's not doing its best creative work. Now, in the creative process, your space will get messy. It will get cluttered while you are creating. However, having a habit of tidying up after that and having a place where these things go can help you so that you reset your creative space so it works for you the best. Now, I will offer to you that the quantity of clutter that triggers your overwhelm can be different from mine and different from anybody else's. I know for a stone cold fact, I'm in this house of mine, this room in our house. This is my space. It is very clean and minimalist, but kind of cheery, and I love it. My husband is 2 doors down in his creative space. That man is cluttery. I've done my best. He is so much better than he is, but he is also crazy busy. He works out, he does so much that the clutter piles up. Now today when he comes home, we'll have a talk about it, but he is able to function with ignoring things that would drive me crazy. So your level of tolerance and comfort with clutter is going to vary. But notice when the clutter gets in the way of the things you want to do, and you can do something about that. Okay? All right, Lisa, glad that helped. Thank you for the follow. And yeah, this is so true. Once you get it started, it is fun. Yeah, Mama Pepper is saying, I sorted down 2 boxes of photos today, sentimental stuff. The sentimental stuff, the things that make you feel feelings, the deepest layer of clutter is the stuff that is going to give you the smallest amount of progress, but it's going to feel in it, but it will feel good. Okay? All sorts of good stuff. Dana Reynolds is saying, I just donated boxes and boxes of glass plates, bowls, and teacups that I had for crafts. I remember doing that type of thing myself. I thought I was going to be crafty, and then I decided I didn't want to be crafty. Okay, so here's the interesting thing, too. I love it. Kathy Lewis is saying peaceful music helps me while I'm cleaning and organizing. Yes. One of the things we work with when I'm a one-on-one coach with somebody is we talk about the things that is going to make decluttering easier for you. Now, I will share with you, and this came up on a TikTok live the other day with somebody who says, I think I'm going to put on music, but then I spend so much time figuring out the right music that I spend all of my time and energy doing that part. Me too. Me too. I prefer silence. That's me. But if music helps you, that's you. Whatever helps you get to where you want to go to, I say go for it. You know? Okay, Lisbeth is saying, what's the easiest way to get it out of my house is my biggest stumbling block. Let's call it a roadblock, shall we? It's stopping you from getting it out of your house. This is when Google is going to come into your life and it's going to be helpful. Now, I coach people one-on-one on Zoom for a 10-week package. And I coach people, as I look at my map of the U.S. here, literally from coast to coast. So I don't know the specifics of where you live, but you have Google. This is me typing on Google. And I have another screen over here, so that's what I'm looking at. Okay? When you have Google, you can look places to donate things near me. You can look up where to donate stuff, where to go shred things. You have places, but notice why you're maybe not going to them. It's going to be a thought that causes you to feel a feeling, and then you're not doing it. Okay? Just notice these things. Now, this is an interesting thing, too, because this is the coaching bubble, but the way I coach is we put it into real life. So I don't know how you guys have been, but you hear somebody and they're all inspirational, and you're like, yeah, this is great. I love it. I can do it. Yay. And then the bubble pops and you're like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, crap. I got stuff to do today. I work with the both. The way I coach and the way I want to share with you is it's not going to be an all or nothing. I wish I could do it all interrupted by work, life, spouse, kids, dogs, cats, work, red tape, medical. I wish you could too. I wish we all could. Now, there may be times in your day and in your life where you have larger, as I like to call them, swaths of time, a big swath of time where you can get a lot done. When you have those times, they can be helpful. You will also, however, find that you don't get as much done sometimes with the bigger things. Sorry, I thought my husband just pulled up. It wasn't him, it was a neighbor, if anybody's asking. However, that's an all or nothing kind of feeling, and that isn't, if you wait for the perfect time, you're going to be waiting a lot and driving very infrequently. If you only drive towards your dreams, oh yeah, hey, check it out. It's on my mug. Driving in the direction of your dreams, your destination, okay? If you're only driving towards your dreams on the days where everything is in alignment, you'll get there eventually, but man, is it going to take you a long time. However, if you drive forward on those days and you drive a little bit every day, you will just be miles closer a lot sooner. So look at how you spend your time now. Notice that time and money, and calories, I think, but time and money are two things that we use the word spend on. You exchange your time for money. You exchange your time for a thing you're doing, for an experience. Where are you spending your time? Is that something that makes you feel good? Or can you spend some of your time that you don't feel so great about, spending it doing something that's going to make you feel good? And to me, because I'm a road tripper, there ain't nothing like driving towards your dreams. Holy Moses, because not only getting there feels like it's fun, but enjoying the journey because you're headed someplace you're excited to. Making a plan towards something you're excited to and doing all the things is going to feel a lot better than if you're dreading where you're heading. Ooh, you're dreading where you're heading, it rhymes. If you're dreading where you're heading, if you've got a passion for fashion, oh, this is how my brain works, okay? So if you're not excited about where you're going to, stop driving, pull over, hang out with yourself. Literally, if your house is chaotic and your life is chaotic, seriously, literally, not metaphorically, literally get into your car with a pad of paper and a pen, drive somewhere, drive to a parking lot, lock the doors, put on the AC, be quiet, have some calm, quiet time for yourself, and say, where am I headed? And if the answer is, I don't know, or you look ahead and you're like, ugh, let's create a road, let's create a destination. How do you want to feel? How do you want your house to look? How do you want your house to function? Notice I asked a question that goes from my lips to God's ears, from my lips to your ears, but then your ears heard it, and your ears are next to your brain, so your brain thinks about it. But you know where the cool stuff happens? Cool stuff happens right here, in your nervous system, in your heart, in your feeling part. It's not an either or two. These two work together. When these two things work together, they're like a vaudeville act. They're like the Pet Shop Boys. They're like Sonny and Cher. I don't know. There's a lot of this and that. When these two work together, magic happens. Lennon and McCartney. Ooh, that is kind of true. Lennon was more cerebral. McCartney was a little bit more heartfelt. So damn cute, the both of them. Love them both. Both good on their own, but two great tastes that taste great together, right? Peanut butter and chocolate. When your head and your heart are in alignment, that's when the magic happens. So if your head and heart are not in alignment about where you're going or what you're doing, you owe it to yourself. Take the time to realize where things are out of alignment. If your car was always listing to one side because your wheels were out of alignment, you would most likely realize that it's a pain to redirect it, and you would go get your car fixed. You would do the thing to change it. Okay? So I just want to offer that road tripping context to you, because what would you do if you were on the road? You're driving towards someplace you dread. Now, sometimes we have to drive to some places we dread. Okay? It's like, for example, I know this year is my 3-year anniversary of having to get a colonoscopy. Now, when I'll probably be driven there by my husband because I'm going to feel crappy haha. There are certain things you have to drive towards that you're not exactly thrilled about, but you do it because you know in the grand scheme of things, it's going to be better. But there are other ways you can change how you think and feel about where you're going to encourage yourself to move forward. Okay? Yeah. I love it. Debbie is saying, love donating to ARC here. All the money goes to helps animals. I love it. Happens to me, says Kathy Lewis. I get distracted very easily. Let's talk about distraction. I work with ADHD clients. I have it in my family, so I know the distraction stuff. Think about the danger of distracted driving. A distracted driver. Imagine trying to get from here to a place you want to go, but allowing yourself to become distracted. You're taking this exit, you're getting to that lane, you're looking at this thing, you're looking at that thing. I'm not saying you need to put blinders on and not enjoy the drive, but notice when your distraction is making it take longer for you to get to the destination. Again, I'm a road tripper, so I get it sometimes. What I want to suggest to you is work at a pace that feels good to you, and just know that if you allow yourself to go distracted and you take if you take a detour to get distracted, feel good about that decision, and just know that I'm going to take this detour, and it means that it's going to take longer for me to get to where I want to go, and be cool with it. Don't beat yourself up. Feel good about the decisions you're making. Make a decision and feel good about it. And if you don't feel good about the decision, as soon as you realize it doesn't feel good, stop. Hammer time. Put on the brakes. Put up your traffic cop hand and say, you know what? I don't want to go on this road anymore. I'm going to turn back and get on the road that leads to my destination. I did this with eating recently and drinking, because for months I was eating and drinking too much of the wrong stuff, and it felt horrible. I realized if I keep on going down this road, I'm going to feel worse and worse. I'm going to get bigger and bigger. I'm going to get unhealthier and unhealthier. So I pulled over. I stopped. And then I turned around and I got back on the good road. And yeah, it feels better. I kind of wish I could tell you something else, but it feels better. Actually, it's cool that it feels better. Again, I was kind of hoping that my diet of like Pringles and cocktails would just give me like the bod of a champion. It just made me feel crappy. Okay? So just notice when you get distracted, and sometimes it's fun to honor that. Other times you need to get practice in redirecting yourself. I love it. Kia says, I unloaded an assortment of really neat furniture I was going to rehab. I opened a garage stall. Awesome. Okay. And I love this, Carla. This is what I do. If possible, where you live, put things on the curb with a free sign and post on the neighborhood social media. You got it. I do that myself. I have a permanent free sign. The coolest thing is we've been using it for the past 15, 20 years or so, and we have very few things left to get rid of in that way. Make it easy on yourself. Yeah. Notice these things. Okay. Yeah, Cat Mama says, took time to get cluttered, worked long hours, then retired, took care of mom 5 years. Now I love it. Now is my time. My time, me, now. What do I want my home to look like? What do I want my home to look like? How do I want my home to function? How do I want to feel in my home? Me, me, me. I know that sounds very kind of like, oh, aren't you being selfish? Taking care of yourself is not selfish. Taking care of yourself is a requirement of feeling better. And when you feel better, you do better. I'm probably going to do a TikTok video about the positive ripple effect of decluttering. But when you practice showing up for yourself in decluttering, you practice showing up for yourself in all areas. Okay? Now, I love this. How I feel first, says Grace. I'm taking a few bags to donate it, and I'm feeling so excited about it. Yes, because it's all about you. That's why I do one-on-one coaching. It doesn't matter. It's not your husband. It's not your kids. It's not your mom. It's not your nieces and nephews. It's about you. Now, maybe you've never taken the time to talk about what you want. Maybe you were told it was selfish and greedy and conceited to think about yourself. No. I will have none of that. It's really important for you to think of yourself, not at the expense of others, but yourself, and then put it into context with other people. Especially if it feels weird to think of yourself. If you've spent decades helping other people, going external and helping other people with their stuff, now it's your time. You deserve to feel good in this one short life you have. Okay? So, I love this. Yay! All right, okay, done resting, says Kara. Notice what she's doing. Done resting. All right, I'm transitioning. I'm getting into gear. Moving breeze blocks for garden, pulling non-selling off of Facebook Marketplace, and going to Savers. Yes, getting into action that's going to lead Kara in the destination of being less cluttered and working and making her yard beautiful. I love it. Breeze blocks for the garden. Awesome. Keep it going. Yeah, different places you can donate things. Cece Fitzhenry is saying, see if your local senior center can use donated craft supplies. Okay? Finding and doing what's best for me has been the best thing, not just for me, but by my family and home. Yeah, Stephanie is saying that. And yes, it isn't greedy. When you feel better, you radiate good vibes. You will be so much less impatient. You will be so much more patient and kind and loving to the people around you. You'll be less frustrated when you start to work on yourself and feel better about yourself. When you put in some boundaries, when you change some habits, when you realize you do not have to do all of the decluttering yourself. You don't. Okay? Yeah. Better late than never. Showing up and loving yourself. Okay? Bobby Dugas says, Destination Cluttered, you have helped me in so many areas. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay? Crazy Cat Lady KY is saying, how do I assume Kentucky, how do I let go of my parents' things? I feel paralyzed with this decision. Here's what I want to go deep, I want to go shallow. We're just going to kind of swim around in this, okay? Notice the paralyzing is a body feeling. The feeling of paralyzed. I can't do anything. I'm frozen. I'm frozen in fear. Notice that this is not surface, not stored. It's probably stored, but it's sentimental stuff. You have stuff that has a story attached to it. You have a piece of stuff with a story attached to it. This is a bureau. This was my parents' bureau. It makes you feel different about the thing. What I want to suggest you begin to pay attention to is to realize you can detach the story from the item. You can also, I want to give you this to help you. You do not need to keep the things that somebody gave you. It does not mean you're a bad person if you don't keep the stuff that somebody gave you. Dare I say you won't get in trouble if you give away the stuff that somebody gave you. Notice I'm speaking to your nervous system. The fear of getting in trouble, the fear of doing the wrong thing, the fear keeps you holding on to the stuff that you don't want. The fear gets you paralyzed. What's the opposite of all that? How about this? Start with your body. If your body is playing freeze tag, you can do something about it. You can move your body. Body moving. Get your body moving. Shake it off. Shake off that paralyzing feeling. Do it Taylor Swift. Get your body moving and say, I can do something different. I don't want to be paralyzed with this. Getting your body in a better state, in your energetic state, and then say, you know what? I know there's stuff with my parents that I know I don't want, and it's okay. I'm not going to feel like I'm going to get in trouble if I share these things, as somebody said, with siblings and grandkids. Yeah, notice the feeling. It is a feeling caused by a story in your head. A story in your head of, don't do that, you can't do that, you're a bad kid if you don't like their stuff. You're going to get in trouble. I mean, I'm just telling you kind of the top 10 things in my head. You have your own personal stories, but notice a story in your head is just a sentence. You could write it down. That sentence you just wrote down is what's causing you to feel a feeling in your feeling areas. And that feeling right here, remember we talked about the head and the hand, the head and the heart, Sonny and Cher? Right here causes you to either hang on to stuff or release things with your hands. Head, heart, hands. You can change that dynamic by paying attention to these things and then consciously just making a decision to do something different. Okay? It takes practice. It does. And it takes practice to show your body and your nervous system that you can do something you were afraid to do. And then after you've done it, that you haven't exploded or gotten in trouble or died. Your nervous system has you hanging on to things because you think it's going to make you feel safe, but sometimes it also has you weighing down. Sometimes the best thing you can do to feel better is to release what's weighing you down. Then you'll feel lighter. Then you can feel in movement. Then you can easily move around. Okay? But it all starts up here and in here. And when these two things are a green light, you are easily and with no feeling good about saying thank you but no, and thank you but no out of the stuff you don't want, so that all you're left with is the stuff that makes you feel good. The right quality, quantity of items in your home, so there's no imbalance and it feels right to you, so you can just effortlessly walk through a room in your house and it's just kind of harmonious or quiet. There's nothing in that one room that is telling you you should do something. Oh, I really should do this. I mean, there might be a layer of dust, and sometimes I'll walk past my dust and put a little smiley face in it and keep on walking. But you can walk through your house and nothing's yelling at you. Your things are not, hey, take care of me. Hey, take care of me. Hey, me. Are you always taking care of people? Mommy. How about taking care of yourself the way you take care of other people? How about taking care of yourself by taking care of your stuff? Okay, Kia is saying yesterday was filled with decisions of getting rid of things. It's a war within. Time to reset. Okay, so what I want to offer, Kia, yes, decision-making can drain you of energy. Your decision-making energy, with each decision you make, your tank goes down. And then ideally what happens is then you're like, okay, I am feeling done. I am kind of on empty. Then I will do things to refill my tank. I will take care of myself physically, mentally, nervous systemly, energetically, emotionally, spiritually. I will do things to get my tank full so the next day I come back with more decision-making energy, full tank, and the practice, the muscle of making decisions that align with what I want and where I'm going. And the more you do this, the easier it gets. So right now it feels like a war. How about instead of a war, instead of us against them, it's a dance. It's this and this. It's my head and my heart. Here's a truth bomb I want to drop on you, okay? Is Your clutter, let me back it up because I want to get the framework right. I like to think of my heart as a, what do I want to call it? A traffic signal. Those 3 lights on the road where you stop, you go, and you slow down. The way I do it, flip it upside down. Next time you're looking at one, I want you to think of Destination Decluttered when you're on the road today and you see one of those red, yellow, greens. I want you to flip it upside down and think of it being right here in your body. I want you to think of a green heart right here. Green, heart, go. Love, green, growth, moving forward, excitement, all that stuff. Red is down the bottom near your poop chute, as I like to say, because that's no. I don't want it. Your body gets rid of stuff it doesn't want. Red is no, I don't want it. Green up here, yes, I want it. Red down here, no, I don't. Clutter is in the middle. Clutter is the yellow. Clutter is the, should I speed up? Should I slow down? It's as they like to say, like driving with 1 foot on the gas and 1 foot on the brake. You're not really making, it's exhausting. It is. It's kind of back and forth, limbo. What I want to say with that is think about this. Clutter is the stuff that your emotional body does not want, but your head is telling you a story that's forcing you to keep it. How does that sound? Pretty deep, huh? Look for evidence of that. Tell me when I'm right, tell me when I'm wrong. Okay? But yeah, it is the yellow. It is the stuff that's not red, it's not green, it's like the decision, which way is it going to be? Should I stay or should I go? Am I going to keep it? Am I going to keep it? Where does it go? If I'm getting rid of it, where does it go? It's a decision making based on what you want. That's why it can be so scary. Well, I don't want it, but I'm afraid I'm going to get in trouble if I donate it. I'm afraid I'm going to get in trouble because I spent a lot for that thing and I'm feeling bad because I don't want it, but I spent a lot of money on it. So I'm going to hang on to it even though it makes me feel bad. Just next time, seriously, today, when you are driving your car or you're on a walk and you see a traffic signal, I want you to think of that analogy, and I want you to start to pay attention to, when you're walking around your home, what items cause a certain light to light up. Did you ever play that game when you were a kid? I just have this picture for whatever reason. We usually didn't play in the Traub's front yard often, but for whatever reason, I remember playing red light, green light as a kid, where one person would be down the end of like a row, and then we'd be back here, and they'd be like red light, green light, and you ran forward and you stopped, and yellow light, you slowed down. Play red light, green light in your home. Look at your stuff and say, okay, if I can only choose one color to identify how that item in my home makes me feel, is it red, is it green, or is it yellow? Yes. Angela McGregor CO says you need to write a book with inspirational decluttering statements or cards of the day. I could, but you know what? That would just add to your clutter. I'll completely be transparent. I could do that in a hot minute. However, two things. I don't want to add to anybody's clutter. I want you to take care of your clutter. So there are different ways I can share this info. That's why I love the decluttering that electronic communication provides. The other thing is that's a lot of work. Destination writing a book. Is it worth it to me? Do I want to spend my time doing that? If I do, it's because I'm making tons of money. But right now, I can share this idea with you. You can write it down. You can make a list. I would love that. Write down the things that mean something to you. You know? Stacy Babbage, I think Goodwill accepts Christmas all year round because people start to shop for that stuff and donate it, let them figure it out. Okay? All right. So Kathy Lewis says, I get afraid, fear, just noticing fear, afraid of throwing stuff away, thinking, I love this. I feel afraid. I get afraid. I have the feeling of fear, thinking I will need it later. If I need it later, I might need that later. I'm afraid to throw it away, and notice what happens to my hand. I hang on to the thing. What if I need it later and I don't have it and I need to buy it again? Hanging on. Unhelpful feeling makes you feel fear. Fear is a really good indicator, people. Fear on this side, love on the other. Just saying. When you feel fear based on a thought or not, it's going to have you hanging on. It's going to have you freezing, clinging on to stuff that you don't want. The opposite to fear is love. On the other hand, on the other side of the coin, you can change how you think. You can notice how you think and say, is this getting me the life I want? Well, no, because I'm hanging on to stuff that I know I kind of don't want, but I'm afraid. I don't want to feel afraid. What do I rather feel? I want to trust. I want to feel safe. I want to feel love. I choose to believe, I like this little intro, I choose to believe that if I need something like that in the future, that I'm going to choose to believe I can borrow it from somebody. I'm going to choose to believe that I can use something else in its place. I choose to believe that I can easily buy it for less than $20 if I need it, when I need it. I'm going to trust that if I haven't used it this long, I probably won't use it for that long. Instead of fear, I'm feeling love for myself, for the life I want. Because when I declutter, I'm creating the life I want. Instead of feeling fear, feel love for yourself. Trust that what you give away or donate or sell, 99% of it you will never need because you haven't needed it yet. If you needed it, it wouldn't be a clutter. It would be something like, oh, I know I only use my crock pot once a year when I make meatballs for the Christmas party. But every year I make meatballs for the Christmas party. So even if I only use it once a year, I'm keeping that and I feel good about it. The clutter is the stuff you don't want. The clutter is the stuff you don't use. If you don't want it or use it now, what makes you fearful that you might want it or use it in the future? Does future you want to those things? Current you doesn't. Current you doesn't want it. Why would future you want it? But if you don't know who future you is, like your destination, if you don't know what you want your home to look and feel and function like, it's going to be a struggle to get rid of those things. Okay? I love it. Soul Sound is saying, love the car painting behind you with the hardest destination. Yes, I made this myself. Seriously, this is like literally, like I would say it's, what do you call that, construction paper, but I printed it off, I laminated it, and I taped it up there myself because life is a road trip, people. Life is a road trip. Life is a highway. I wish it was a better song I could sing right there. Actually, my Just Drive. My husband wrote a song called Just Drive. For me, we wrote it together. It's on my website, or it's on Destination Decluttered on YouTube. You can see the video. My friend Heather starred in the video. My friend Rob made the video. We borrowed the car from somebody. It was a wonderful experience. Just drive. You're here. This is your destination. Just drive. And if you're not just driving your life towards your destination, that means there's a roadblock in the way. When you can't drive forward, it's because there's a roadblock. What is that roadblock? It's usually your head and your heart are stopping you from moving forward in that direction. This is why I do coaching. This is why I show up, I do these TikTok lives, but this is why I do one-on-one coaching with people, is I can only get to a certain level with you doing this group coaching of 150 people today. So if you like what I'm doing and you would like to take it to the next level, deeper, but with me as your co-pilot, as your coach, I do this all the time. I love it. This is a journey I am not tired of going on with people because I love showing people an easier way to get to where they want to be. It took me way too long to get my life and my home looking and feeling and functioning like I wanted to. I don't want it to take that long for you. That's why I found the way to get there, and I teach it to my one-on-one clients and to you when you show up here on TikTok or the people on the mailing list. Okay? So, yeah, destinationdecluttered.com/join is the mailing list. That's what it's my website. Getting on the mailing list, I'm telling you, there's a good email going out today. I'm not going to try to make you laugh. I'm just stating a fact. Today, the people on the mailing list are going to find out when our group Zoom is in May. They're also going to find out the dates and times of every single one of my TikTok lives from now until the beginning of the middle of May. So they can schedule it around it. If you like hearing me, you're going to know when to show up because I do it differently, different times of the day, different days of the week. I like flexibility. I like to be able to be there for different people at different times because my 10:56 a.m. here is somebody's, I'm doing that, 7:56 a.m. on the West Coast and somewhere different in between. So I show up on different days at different times. I like to keep it flexible. I like to have some fun. If I get too regimented, I get bored out of my gourd, as my mother would say. Okay? And thank you, Kathy Lewis, about my haircut. I have a haircut appointment next week, and I will tell my friend Phil, who does my hair, that I get compliments on it. Thank you very much. You know? And think about even today, in these last few minutes right here. This is fun because I just happened to look down, talk about clutter. So this was a mug that I bought when I went traveling. I bought this in Ireland, and obviously I'm not using it as a mug. I'm using it as something else. But it says, "Not all who wander are lost." And also, you are here. So here, you are here. Now the fun thing is to me is you see this one, it says you are here, and it shows Ireland, unlike the US map that I tend to think of because I'm US based. Carla Holiday, I'm very excited to have a consultation with you. I think it's going to be awesome. I know it's going to be awesome. Okay. Oh my gosh. Hello, love always, Tara. Curious, roughly how long was the process for you to reach your destination? Any bumps? Oh my God. Yes, of course, bumps. Have you ever been on an actual road trip? Stuff happens. Weather, potholes, getting tired, flat tires, running out of gas, getting lost, getting discouraged, feeling sick. Years. It took me years. But the wonderful thing was, in hindsight, is I moved forward in a pace that felt good to me at the time. However, I will say this. I moved forward so much more quickly once I got some goddamn coaching of my own to realize that I was stopping myself because of fears in my nervous system and fears in my head. Once I clued into this thing that I'm already sharing with you now, it was a game changer. I was like, oh, I didn't even get it. I didn't even see that was why I was stopping. As soon as I realized I could do something about the head and the heart and change that, that's when things started to happen, you know? Clara is asking, yeah, hi, it's nice to stay with you. How do I stay motivated? I don't stay motivated. I get a little bit motivated. I get myself up, and here's the wonderful thing. And this is how it happens helps ADHD people too. Is sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. Now I just say fake it too. You may not feel like, oh, I'm firing on all 10 cylinders or whatever. Getting up and just starting, moving, and doing the stuff sometimes generates its own energy. So getting it and seeing it look better. Oh, hey, that part of the counter looks better. Oh, look at this. This looks better. But one of the things that really helps is, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Because of my destination. What do I want my home to look like? How do I want to feel in my home? And how do I want my home to function? If the answer to that question, those questions isn't what your home looks like now, I can help you with that. Now, my paid coaching can help you get there faster, but what I do here on TikTok can help you too. Getting on the email mailing list. I know I sound like a broken record, but it's just an awesome place to be. It's up to you. You can do it. I don't pressure. I just tell you that there's some stuff that can help you that's not paid coaching. Okay? This was awesome. Speaking of paid coaching, I'm hopping off now to do a day of coaching and consultations. If you're interested in anything I do, follow me here on TikTok. Tomorrow I'm doing a TikTok live, 11 a.m. Eastern, because why not? And mailing list is destinationdecluttered.com/join. Going onto my website, I've got consultation slots available, I think today and tomorrow, and the people who are going to get first dibs for next week are the people on the mailing list, okay? You all rock. Spread the word. There we go. I Drove All Night by Cyndi Lauper. Love it. All right, people. I'll see you later. Bye.